Hey everyone, Draco Prime 220 here. Today I am going to be doing a review of Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2, Episode 7. I'd have to say this is a very good episode. Very well done, very well acted. Not a lot of monster action. There will be spoilers in this, so if you don't want to be spoiled, just click off the video, go watch the episode, and come back. I'm going to talk about the main things that I found of interest. First of all, Thailand was mentioned. And if you are not aware, there is a reliable kaiju resource called he's called KDM. And he talks about potential reveals or hinting possibly at certain creatures appearing in certain movies. And he did say that there is, one of the reviews said that a internet-breaking surprise, something that's going to break the internet, appears in this season. And he said, one of his comments said that it's in Thailand. And Thailand was mentioned, so, and also it has been said by KDM that this internet-breaking surprise is not going to be until the final episode on May 1st. So I'm very interested to see what that is. We delve a little bit more into Kokai, Titan X, of her connection and what is going on with her. The whole segments of Lee Shaw talking to his his younger self, and vice versa, those were some of the best moments in this episode. Because easily young Lee Shaw could have changed something if he was not convinced by his older self to not. I do like it how it is referencing or paying homage to some of the other Godzilla films that did involve time travel. I think that's kind of cool. I'd have to say this is like one of the best, but it also makes me kind of concerned because there is a scene where Dr. Suzuki says, "What, you afraid I'm not going to make it back, or are you afraid you're not going to make it back?" And he's like, "See you later, old friend." This makes me kind of question, is Lee Shaw going to bite the dust at some point in these next final episodes? Or is he going to make it out a second time? I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens next. We all know Godzilla's going to probably show up in the next episode. He is going to show up, and a fight is going to ensue. We also do find out that Kokai, Titan X, has made landfall in Australia. Now, the funniest thing came, I shouldn't say funny, I should say something very interesting crossed my mind. Like, she's heading to Australia. Can you imagine Steve Irwin if he was alive? A little bit of info. I am a big fan of Steve Irwin and his family for what they have done for conservation of wildlife. And on a side note, Steve Irwin, we lost too soon. He cared for all creatures, ones that were scaly, had a lot of legs, dangerous. It didn't matter what animal it was. He cared. And it was just so sad to see him go when he did. One of my friends actually called me on the day that he passed. And I was a wreck. I think a lot of us were, especially his family. My condolences to his family, and I'm just glad they're keeping his legacy alive. I kind of pictured, wouldn't have been interesting if Steve Irwin was alive and he made like a cameo appearance bumping into Godzilla or Kokai, and maybe Godzilla kind of looked at him and kind of sensed he cared and respected nature, which Steve Irwin did. I just think that would have been kind of interesting if something like that happened, if things went differently with Steve Irwin. But anyway, I just think this whole episode was really good. I get the feeling the next 3 episodes will be a lot more action-packed. That's my personal opinion. we do find out a lot more about Kokai and the whole, like, song, that there were these people that long ago would hear this song of a demon and it would be seen as them going crazy. But Keiko and Kate go to this well that allows you to amplify what you're hearing from this Titan. And it's a nice, like, it's actually like a reverse, like, of what happened in that power plant where Keiko fell into Axis Mundi. And she basically says that she just needs some help, that Kokai needs help. She's not evil. She's not dangerous. She just needs, like, a little help. And I get a feeling that this fight that's going to happen between Godzilla and Kokai, it's not going to be good. Someone is going to get hurt. It's going to be bad. Because you're trying to control a force of nature. You cannot control nature. You can't control a hurricane. You can't control a volcano. You can't control a tsunami or an earthquake. Can you prepare people? Evacuate people? Yes. But here you're trying to control living forces of nature. That never ends well. It just makes me wonder why humans haven't learned in this series. Or in this franchise. It does make me kind of concerned about Lee Shaw, because he's, like, when Dr. Suzuki says, you're thinking you're not going to make it back. And, of course, he just says, goodbye, old friend. Is that kind of makes me kind of concerned for Lee. But I think it would be kind of poetic if he was to die, because there are prices to pay when you try to control nature. There's a price. It doesn't matter what weapon you make, what thing you concoct in your scientific brain. Nature's going to always win. It's always going to find a way to punch back, and I can guarantee it to you. Nature's going to hit 10 times harder than anything we can concoct would. But the whole time sequence, all the conversing between young and old Lee Shaw was really good. Kurt and Wyatt Russell deserve a Oscar nomination or an Academy Award for that. And it even makes me more excited for the Lee Shaw series. I'm kind of interested to see how that goes. Now, really quick on that, just do a quick thing. I really think if they were, because the Soviets or the Russians are wanting to use a Titan to destroy the United States. Now, I think there are two monsters that could be good. Well, actually, three. Three candidates. Amulek, who was from Godzilla Dominion, this giant tree plant monster. Because from what I remember, I think his outpost was in Russia. So it would kind of make sense that Amulek would be, like, maybe the possible candidate for that to be done. But here are my other two that I think could actually be more effective. Hedorah and Gigan. Now, Hedorah, I'm going to be honest, he's pollution. He's the smog monster. And also he has multiple forms. He can emit poisonous gas. He could do some damage. Now, the reason why I say Gigan is, one, he was meant to appear as a cameo in King of the Monsters, according to some concept art, but he didn't. Now, here, we got King Ghidorah. We got all but confirmed Space Godzilla for Supernova. Who's to say another alien didn't come to Earth? What if King Ghidorah and Gigan came to Earth together, got separated? I don't know, and maybe... See, since Gigan is a cyborg, maybe he shut down when he crashed, went into, like, a state of, like, shutdown. But then the Russians stumble upon him and bring him, and they see his destructive capabilities, and are like, he can work. You know? And you can actually have Godzilla, if Godzilla even shows up in the show, in the Lee Shaw series, which I think would be interesting, you could have Godzilla fight Gigan, a monsterverse. That's Spyro. That's one of my boys. Sorry about seeing his tail. Yeah, those are all my the three candidates that I think that could, my two are actually hopes. I don't know. They could completely surprise us with someone else. But, yeah, this whole episode was really good. Godzilla is sure to appear in the next episode. I think the next 3 episodes are going to be a lot more action-packed because I do know we are returning to Skull Island, so depending on how episode 8 ends, that's probably where we're going to head to next. I am very excited to see who this internet-breaking surprise is. The one other thing I will talk about is Isabella, Amber Midthunder's character. I don't like her. I liked Amber. I think Amber Midthunder is a good actress. She was awesome in Prey, but here I'm like, she's conniving. She is trying to fuel Kentaro's resentment and say, hey, what if there was a way you didn't have to deal with anyone? Kate, no Kate, just you. She is conniving, and I don't like it. I'm kind of hoping she gets stomped on by something. I'm hoping either Godzilla stomps on her, Kokai whacks her with one of her tentacles, or Kong or something. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't think they're going to get rid of Amber Midthunder's character this soon or this quickly after just introducing her in episode 5 or 6, I believe. Because there's probably going to be a season 3. With how good Monarch is doing, I think a season 3 is inevitable. Are they going to focus on the Lee Shaw series first? Yes. Do I think they're going to do a season 3? Oh, that's pretty much... I think that's going to... I got a strong feeling that's going to happen. Yeah, this is a very good episode. I'd have to say an 8 out of 10. Not a lot of monster action. And now, there's one thing I gotta bring up. And I'm not trying to start anything with anyone. I'm not giving out names. But there is someone on YouTube who's been not really, I guess, pleased with these episodes. I'm sorry. You seem to have no problem with the whole time travel of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, but here you have trouble with it. I don't get it. Second of all, before I get to that, I want to make something clear here. I am not trying to bash no one. I am not trying to be mean to someone. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion and their preference of what they like. I just don't want to see it that criticism or opinion ruin it for someone else who does happen to enjoy the show. It's the same thing with the Super Mario's Galaxy film. It's gotten mixed to negative reviews, and a lot of people don't like it. And I'm like, really? I'm like, and yet it's making a lot of money. Probably by the next week or something, it's going to be over $5 million. So, I don't know what to tell you, but I just don't want people's criticisms and opinions to ruin it for others, where they may like, hey, this looks interesting. Oh, I may go take a check that out. And then, if they hear like a non-spoiler review or see comments on YouTube or Twitter, they're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't go and see it. But then you may end up finding out that you may have liked it, so I just don't want to see anyone who may enjoy the show or movies have it ruined by someone's opinions or criticisms. And also the dream sequence. I'm like, you're all upset about that, but yet you didn't mind it in Gamera 3. I don't really count it until you actually see the buildings starting to crumble and seeing Nightmare Gamera. At least you see Godzilla a little bit more quicker than you do Nightmare Gamera. And actually, between the whole segment of Nightmare Gamera showing up, the building falling, I say that's like maybe 20, 30, maybe 44 seconds worth of footage. I don't know. But at least with the whole Godzilla dream, it's a little bit over a minute. You didn't seem to mind it in Gamera 3, but you mind it here. when actually it makes just as much sense as it does in Gamera 3, if not more so here. The dream is about the dream that Ayana has in Gamera 3 is that she is haunted by what happened to her family. Here, it shows how, in this show, it shows how the monsters, these Titans, how they impact individuals and the world. And Monarch Legacy of Monsters, maybe the monsters part of the title does not mean like Godzilla or Kong. Maybe it means lies, secrets, hiding things. Secrets and lies are monsters in their own way. And also, you gotta learn to temper your expectations. Yeah, the trailer is gonna show off much of a lot of monster stuff. They're going to, because they're gonna want to give you a reason to put it on and watch it and get Apple TV. That it's common sense. Because if they just showed a bunch of people talking in the trailer and not showing any of the good stuff, you're gonna be like, oh, I'm not interested. But the thing is, the monsters are the payoff. They're not the main focus. They are, but they aren't. The monsters are like the payoff. It's like an ice cream cake. You got a nice cake, you got the icing and everything on it, then you got the ice cream in the middle. They're like the monster fights and the monster content is like the sweet center you're eager to get to. And you're going to find out it's worth it. But that's what I mean. That's where you got the MonsterVerse movies for. That's where you focus a lot more on the monsters than you do the people. I'm sorry. I just don't want people who enjoy movies or enjoy the shows have their, all because someone has an opinion or a very negative criticism, that person's like, maybe I shouldn't watch it. When they should be able to make their own opinions and criticisms about the movie or a show. The other thing is, once again, Thailand is mentioned. Godzilla probably will be showing up in episode 8. How much he will do is unknown. I am actually excited that we're going back to Skull Island. I do get the feeling that the next 3 episodes will be a lot more action-packed. And second of all, I am very concerned for Lee Shaw, because he's actually one of my most favorite characters in the MonsterVerse right now, alongside Gia, who is a good friend of Kong. I really don't want to see him go. Another thing is the Ion Dragon and that centipede-looking thing actually making a brief appearance. So that's pretty cool. There is one more thing I'm going to touch on. I am going to make some Godzilla movie reviews, like give my own take on certain Godzilla films. I may do at least one today. Probably because I'm not really doing anything else right now. And I'm just going to be relaxing for the weekend, so this will give me something to do. But, yeah, I give episode 7 an 8 out of 10. Good human drama. Everything is going to start ramping up. Interesting with what they're doing with the Titans. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens next. So, keep an eye out for any Godzilla, my Godzilla movie, one of my Godzilla movie reviews. And if you like the video, like and subscribe and join in on the fun. Until then, I'm Draco Prime 220, signing off.